Welcome to A Safe Place with Ellen. Today we want to end the month, because this is Human Trafficking Month, with talking about human trafficking and some of the similarities with that and how that ties in with domestic violence. Traffickers and domestic violence abusers, they kind of follow some of the same lines. They use some of the same tactics. Today we want to talk about trafficking and grooming, because if you're there, we're talking about it today and you're wondering, well, how would I even recognize if someone was being human trafficked, or how does that happen? So we want to kind of talk about some stages that a human trafficker might engage in. There's like 4 basic stages. It's kind of called grooming. It's trafficking grooming. So we want to talk about that, and we also want to talk about the same patterns that traffickers have with domestic violence and domestic violence perpetrators, how that kind of happens. So we're going to link those two together. When you see some of this stuff, and you'll even hear me talk about trauma bonding, human trafficking and trauma bonding is there, as well as trauma bonding is there within domestic violence. So we're going to, when we kind of mesh these two together, I think you'll get a better and a definite better picture of domestic violence, as well as how human trafficking can be tied into that. You know, in discussing the 4 basic stages, and I want to say that again, basic stages of grooming in human trafficking, as well as any domestic violence, or anytime someone is trying to pull you in to their world for whatever reason. These are some basic stages, and if you kind of keep an eye on these, you'll say red flag. The first one would be human traffickers typically try to find someone that's vulnerable, someone that may have gone through a traumatic experience, someone that they can manipulate, that they can that they see that needs someone, which kind of goes into the second stage. They come across friendly, they want to help, they want to know all about your situation, they want to know what's going on, what the trauma's about, or what, sometimes we look vulnerable, and when we feel vulnerable, we tend to give off that vibe. That's what they're looking for. So when you think about it, and someone comes up to you and they're all friendly and they want to know all about you, be careful that the information that we give, and if you're watching that from somewhere else and you're watching someone else go through that's a red flag. They're getting friendly. They're kind of saddling up to you to find out all about you, because I can tell you somewhere down the line they're going to use it against you, be it a domestic violence abuser or trafficking. In trafficking, if they know all about your life, then what they can do is use that somewhere down the line as coercion, as I'm going to hurt your family if you don't do this. Even if you may say that you know something illegal or somebody's doing something, they're going to use that. They're even traffickers want you to be afraid. It's about fear. Domestic violence, it's about power and control. Those two things together, if you think about it, they're similar. And I know that when we think about domestic human trafficking, we're thinking about people coming from other countries, which absolutely happens, and taking people to other countries. Absolutely happens. But human trafficking is in our backyard. It could be a family member. It may be people that are trafficking people, because trafficking can be for sex workers. It can be even laborers. So it's not just about taking someone to another country, or it's happening here, guys, and we're hearing about it. You read about it on every Facebook page about, beware of this man that's in Walmart parking lot. We see that. Well, I myself, when I see that, a big red flag comes up, and so do the mothers out there whose children are of that age, 18 to 24, and that's not a dead set age. It could be any age, but when your children, especially 18 to 24, are out on their own doing their shopping and those kind of things, it's scary for moms and even our younger children, and that's why you see that out there. These people that are posting it they're kind of waving their red flag, which is a good thing. We've got the stage of identifying a victim, of kind of grooming with the emotional. They're friendly, they want to be your friends, then they start sharing you with gifts, maybe for no reason. Oh, I thought you might like this, so they buy you a necklace, or they buy you new clothes, and it's nice. And we're feeling vulnerable. They picked up on that. We may not have anywhere to live. We may not have anywhere to go. They pick up on that. So they provide a place to stay, a place to crash. They become real friendly real quick. So that would be another stage, because what are all these? It's about control. So now they know all about you. They're your buddy. Now they're buying you things that you may not be able to afford. So now you may feel that you owe them something. Then the kicker comes. They're going to isolate you. They're going to keep you away from your friends. You don't have anywhere to go, so come stay at my place, which is more than likely, if it's trafficking, it's somewhere where people aren't paying attention, where there may not be a lot of people. There's definitely may not be a lot of foot traffic and that kind of stuff, to where you could walk out and say, hey, I can't leave this man, or this female won't let me leave. So those are just some of the kind of stages that a trafficker, but if you think about it, a domestic violence person would do too, because we've talked about isolating. We've talked about, the domestic violence, the power and the control, they're abusive, and then they buy you gifts and they say they'll never do it again. So hopefully, just from these 4 stages, you can see some of the similarities between the behaviors of a domestic violence perpetrator or person and human traffickers. Another similarity between human trafficking and domestic violence would be the services that victims need and hopefully receive. Some of the services would be safety planning, it would be housing stability, it would be getting jobs, just mental health services. If there is anyone out there that a victim that might need these services, please feel free to contact us at ASPWE. We will help you in any way we can. Domestic violence victims and human trafficking victims. If we can help you in any way, if you need some type of service and you think, oh, maybe they can help me, call, because if we can't help you, we're going to try to find someone that can help you.